Welcome to Z Lessons. In today's video, we answer the grade 12 mathematics 2024 paper 2 question that came based on the topic vectors. Okay, we're going to answer this question all together and we are going to see how we can approach this problem in the examination. So this is the question. Hopefully you are able to see. I'm going to be as quick as possible in reading these instructions. So let us begin. This question says that in the diagram EFG, as you can see, EFG, as you can see, these outer vertices that form the triangle are the ones that we are referring to here. So these EFG, they are forming a triangle in which EH, as you can see, EH is equals to 4a, as you can see. So this is what we like to refer to as a free vector. Okay, these are free vectors. They are not written in relation to any origin or the grid. No, these are free vectors. So EH equals 4a, as you can see. Vector EF equals 4b, and FG to JG, FG to JG equal 1 to 3. So as you can see, these are just ratios. So what they're simply saying here is that FJ is 1, whereas JG is 3. Okay, so there is a 1, the distance here is 1, then the distance here is a 3. So that's what they mean. These are just ratios. And H is the midpoint of EG. Okay, H is the midpoint of this whole entire length. So this is the middle. So which means that this length equals this length here. So EH and HG are the same length. They have the same length. So FH, as you can see, FH and EJ meet at P. So that's what they mean. Okay, so now that we are done with interpreting the problem, let us look at what has been asked. The question says that express in terms of A and or B. So whenever we answer this question, the answer should contain these stated letters. Okay, so this is the first question. The first question says find the FH, vector FH. A vector always has an arrow on top indicated like that. So we need to find what? We need to find FH. So I have a piece of paper right here so that I don't make a mess. So what we can just say is answers. Okay, so let us answer the question. This is going to be question A. So it says FH, vector FH. So when solving these vectors, we are going to use what we call the triangular rule, okay, where we connect vectors by adding them from the tail to the head. So as you can see, F is the tail, H is the head. By that I mean that we start from point F, then end at the point H. So how do we connect this? So if you look at this question, we can find the FH by looking at this diagram. FH. So when we are starting from F, which is the tail, then we are ending at H, which is the head. Okay, so we need to move from F to E, then from E to H. So that's what we call the triangular rule of adding vectors, as you can see. So FE, the reason why we have chosen FE, because we have already been given a value here. As you can see, we have a value for this length, and EH has also been given the value. We cannot use this length or whatever. To simplify things, we need to use these this path so that we can find the value. So we can write this as follows. So FH equals FE plus E H. Okay, so these are vectors. We put arrows. Don't forget to indicate arrows in the exam. So equals, what is FE? Here you need to be very, very careful. As you can see, FE, let me just do this in case you're not able to see. As you can see, FE, the arrow for this value indicates that this vector is moving from E to F. That side, as you can see, from E to F. But since here we are looking for FE, which is the opposite of this arrow. As you can see, this arrow is directed from E to F. So therefore, this value is for EF. Now, since we are not looking for EF, we are looking for FE, which is the opposite from F to E. This should be negative because we are moving in the negative or opposite direction. So instead of indicating that FE equals 4B, we're going to say FE equals minus 4B or negative 4B. So we are going to say negative 4B. Negative 4B. Okay. So then we find the value of EH. As you can see, EH is 4A. And here we're looking for EH. So it's the exact same direction. So no need of changing the sign. It's going to maintain positive 4A. So it's going to be a positive 4A. So now you can leave your answer like this, but in mathematics, normally we tend to start with a positive term. So we can just interchange these values, okay? And it should be the same. So we're going to start by writing first 4A, positive 4A, then negative 4B. So negative 4B. So that's how we tend to answer our questions like that. So that means, my friend, that we have scored a mark, and we can move to the next question, which is B. So let us indicate it as a B like so. So we need to move from point F to G. So how do we do that? How do we move from point F to G? So F is here, G is here. So what we can do is just say FG equals FH plus HG. Okay. So we're going to say FH plus HG. So that's the movement. Okay, that's the movement. So now, since we already have the value for FH, this value that we are from solving here, we can just substitute. So I'm going to get this. You can choose from the two. They're all answers here. Here we just change the way we have written the problem, but they are exactly the same thing mathematically. So I'm just going to pick this one to simplify things, and it's going to be minus 4B plus 4A plus, we need to add the HG. So now we need to add HG. As you can see, HG is the same as the EH, because remember we said that H is the midpoint here. So which means that from E to G, H is in the middle. So this length is exactly as this length. So in other words, if there's a 4A here, definitely there should be a 4A there as well. So it's going to be a 4A, as you can see. So now that we have done this, we can add the like terms. As you can see, this one has no like term, so we're going to rewrite it like so. But 4A plus 4A definitely has a like term. These are like terms, not so. So what is 4A plus 4A? That's going to be 8A. My friends, that marks the answer. So that's the answer. We can leave it like this, or you can do what we did here, and all will be well. So that's how we answer that question as well. So let us go to C. We can go to C. We can definitely go to C, which says that EJ. We need to find the EJ. So how do we find the EJ? How do we find the EJ? So this is the tricky one. Yet, of all these that we have answered, this is the tricky one. So I want you to pay close attention. EJ, we're just going to do the same thing using the triangular rule of adding vectors. So EJ equals EF. As you can see, if we need to move from E to J, we need to move from EF to FJ. Not so. So EF plus FJ. So that's the movement. Okay. So now what we need to do is find the value of EF. As you can see, the value of EF is EF equals 4B. So we're going to say 4B like so. Okay. Plus, what is FJ? So to find FJ, what is FJ? So we need to understand what FJ is. So let us go back to our diagram here and we shall understand what FJ is. If you think about it, just consider this length from F to G. We have a 1 here, not so, because fj equals 1. We have been told that it equals 1, not so. Then jg equals 3. So there's a 3 here. So if we were to add this 1 here and this 3 here, this all length from f to g will equal 4. So now, to find fg, we need to find its value. This is just a fraction of the entire thing. So it's like saying that out of 4, because there is an equal length of 4 here, not so from F to G. Out of this 4, we're only going to take what? This part, which is 1. So in fractional form, that would be 1 over 4. So that's 1 over 4 of what? 1 over 4 of FG. As you can see, this is FG, and we're only taking this part here, which is FJ, and FJ is represented by a 1. So 1 over 4. Out of 4, we're only picking 1. That's how we find the FJ. So that's what we are going to write here. So we're going to say FJ is what? 1 over 4 of what? This entire length, which is FG. Which is FG, as you can see. So that's how we interpret that in a mathematical way. So now this is very easy because we already know the value of FG, which is this value we are from finding. So we are going to just substitute this value right there. So we can say that 4B, okay, plus 1 over 4, open brackets. What is the vector FG? It's going to be negative 4B plus 8a, as you can see. So that's how we move and answer this question. So now all we have to do is multiply this outer part here by all the terms inside the brackets. So I'm going to have 4b plus, or should I say, is it a plus? Because of this negative, we're going to run into a problem. So this will be like 1 over 4 times that. The answer will be what? A negative 1. So it's just going to be a negative what? A negative b. So it's going to be a negative b here. Okay, sorry for that mess. It's going to be a negative b. 1 over 4 multiplied by negative 4b. It's going to give us a negative b. Okay. So then we are going to have 1 over 4 multiplied by 8a. It's going to be what? 4. It's going to be, okay. Then here we are going to say that 1 over 4 multiplied by 8a. Since this 4 is the denominator, it's going to divide into that 8 2 times. So it's going to be 2a. So it's going to be plus 2a. So now we're not done here because as you can see, we have 2 terms that have the b. Okay, so all we have to do is say 4b minus b. That is going to give us a 3b. Okay, plus what? 2a. So that's the answer for this question. As you can see, we have answered this question. So we have been told that given that Fp equals Kfh, so K is just a constant, okay? So we can just say that Fp equals Kfh. This is a vector. Then we have been tasked to show that Ep equals that value. So let us just say Ep. Okay, so how do we find vector Ep? So that's the question. So if we look at our diagram here, how do we move from E to P? We can say that EP equals EF plus F what? P. Do you know why we are using FP even though we haven't been given a value here? Because we have been given the value of FP here, as you can see. So FP equals this. That's why we are utilizing, as you can see here, FP is that. So we need to use that. We need to utilize this vector, okay? Because it has been given. If you think about it, there are multiple ways we can get EP. We can even say EP equals EH and HP. Now, since we do not have the value for HP, we cannot use this method. That's why I'm saying that in order for us to find EP, we have to use that direction, EFFP, because FP has been given here. So we're going to say EP equals EF plus FP. Okay, so that's how we are going to solve this question. So now after doing that, we can say that EF, what's the value of EF or the magnitude? As you can see, EF equals 4B. So EF equals 4B. By the way, you should mind the direction. Since EF is the same direction as this vector, it's going to maintain the sign, okay? But if it were in an opposite direction, you could have changed the sign, okay? So make sure that you bear that in mind. Plus FP. FP has been given. It hasn't been given in here, but it has been given right here, as you can see. So FP equals KFH. So KFH. Okay, so this is becoming very elegant. So 4B plus K. What is FH? If you think about it, we already have the value of FH. As you can see, we solved this question, FH. So FH is what? This is FH. Okay, so this is FH. So to simplify things, I'm just going to use this first part here. Negative 4B plus 4A. Okay, so I'm just going to say negative 4B plus 4A. Negative 4B plus 4A. Like so. Let's make sure that we have written the exact same thing. Negative 4B plus 4A. Okay. So now at this point, my friends, you have already started to obtain marks. In the exam, this is the hardest part. Just interpreting this whole problem into this form, and you are on your way to scoring a mark here. So make sure that you follow along very well. Okay. So that it's just a matter of expanding this by removing the brackets. So we need to multiply this k by all these two terms in the brackets. So it's going to be 4b. This will be before I write a sign, because the sign will be determined by the product we obtain here. So what is k times negative 4b? It's going to be what? It's going to be negative 4kb. Okay, negative 4kb. Then we're going to move here. What is k times positive 4a? It's going to be positive 4ka. Okay, as you can see, we have distributed our k to all those two terms. So we can go back here below. Mind you, we need to answer. Our answer should end up being this. as you can see, 4ka plus 4 in the brackets, 1 minus k, then b. So it should end up being this. Our answer should, this answer we obtain here should end up becoming that. That's how we answer this question. Okay, so now as you can see, we already have our terms here. All we need to do is just write them so that they are arranged in such an order like this. So as you can see, for the first term we have 4ka. Let us look at our our terms here. As you can see, I'm seeing a 4ka. So since this is written as the first term, I'm going to put this as the first term as well. So it's going to be 4ka. So as you can see, it's beginning to look like that. I can also indicate this to show that it's becoming this value or this equation. So as you can see, EP equals 4ka. We are halfway there, as you can see. So now since this has been written here, we are remaining with 4b minus 4kb. Okay, so we can say plus 4b minus 4kb. Okay, so this is what we do here. We need to factorize it. We need to factorize this whole thing here. So if you look at our terms here, you can see that, let me first of all write this. You can see that they all contain a 4 and they all contain a what? A b. So those, we are going to use them as factors, okay? So those are factors. So we're going to say, what can I say? What can I say? Plus, we're going to say 4 is a factor of all those two terms, and a b is also a factor of all two terms. Then we're going to add the brackets. How many times does 4 go into that? It goes there one time, so there is a 1. Then how many times does 4b go into that? As you can see, this 4 will cancel with that 4. Then this b will cancel with that b, and we'll be left with a minus k. So that's a minus k, like so. So that's how we do that. So now, to make sure that it looks exactly this way, as you can see, this 4 is being multiplied by all this in the brackets, and this b is also multiplied by this in the brackets. So we can split these two, this coefficient and this b. So this is what I'm saying. Writing this way is the same as saying that 4 open brackets 1 minus k, then at the end we add a b. It's the same thing because this 4 is multiplying this whole thing in the brackets, and this b is also multiplying that inside. And as you can see, this matches exactly as we have been given in the question. So therefore, we have completely answered our question and shown that EP equals that. So you can even say EP equals that. So that's it. We have answered the examination question just like that. We have solved all these questions, and as you saw, it's very interesting to understand a few concepts on how to approach this question. So thank you so much if you followed all along through the end of this video. I appreciate that very, very much. This is why I encourage that if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing, sharing these videos to others, your friends, your family, and liking the video so that more people can come and join and learn this wonderful topic, or should I say subject in general, called mathematics. Okay, so that's it. That's all I wanted to share with you, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to release another one from the year 2024, so that even those that are writing the 2025 exam, at least you have something to revise on. Thank you so much. I'll see you very soon. Have a nice day.